and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in with some fresh legs as they got the week off last week thanks to the early season bye.
And usually you hope your bye comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get fresh legs back, you take that time and you run with it.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. Returning it, John Ross. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. Orchestrating the offense will be Case Keenum, the 6'1 QB out of the University of Houston.
And coming off of an early season open week. And in this situation, what he told us when we sat down with him was he spent a lot of time working on fundamentals, kind of getting back to basics during that time, as opposed to having to worry about healing up or resting up. It was too early in the season. Get back to the basics, get his game going again.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Second and 10, Keenum here again. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down. We documented it last week. They played so well defensively. 4 interceptions. Tried to get their hands on another one there.
And when you've had 4 the previous week, you are just itching for more the very next week. And there was a great opportunity. It went by the wayside. But let's not underscore what's going on with this defensive unit. They are around the ball every time it's being put in the air.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Out of the gun, Keenum. And that's incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. Back deep is DeAnthony Thomas. Taking it about the 16. Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Here's Keenum to throw. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good edge steam going.
And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Tackle there by Leighton Vander Esch.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
From the gun on 3rd down, Keenum got a man. It's Ross, complete. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down.
And the key number on that play, 3. 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down. Spectacular catch turns into a 1st down.
1st down saves them from a 3-and-out. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a 1st down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So after 2 1st downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. On 1st down, it's Keenum. Rashard Matthews here on the catch. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Jordan Lewis. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Matthews, the intended target. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Watch him now, Barney!
They'll look to throw here on first down. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll bring up second down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. They're going to look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring and moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Returnable for Thomas. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
And that's caught inside the 30. A big play here for Dallas. 44 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
that was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down inbounds, tried to do the toe tap. Like, my dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really?
Yeah, that he is.
How about that? What about Young Davis?
No, it did not. It did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there. It'll
wind up being a loss of 2. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. In for the score. And the Cowboys are in for 6. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at the 40. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. He was looking for Matthews that time.
Okay, partner. No surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Vontaze Burfict able to get in and run him down for a loss of 14.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jackson. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
And now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
Now Case Keenum and the offense heading back onto the field. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. A good pick up there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, they can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
And the catch good. It's Eifert. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now it's Keenum. They'll set up the screen here to mix it. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. Now, the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jordan Willis in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now the first carry for an Ohio native. It's Ezekiel Elliott. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. Now back to throw. Jackson's got it over the middle. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. 2 minutes to go here in the 1st half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. He's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball. Like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't...
They got his man complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain of 32 that time. On 1st down, Keenum steps away to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down. There's Keenum now on second down. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there, you know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Mixon with a first down carry. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. On second down, here's Keenum. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Matthews, the intended target, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Keenum. And this is going to be incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame. And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go, ball on the 43. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go. Now a timeout called for by the defense as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. The Bengals on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. And they'll run it here. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. Out now comes the Cowboys punter, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So we now proceed to the start of the second half. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as he'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Tackled by Jordan Willis.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the changeup, and on that play, it worked for big yardage.
He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
They'll drop the throw, and he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Now Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
He'll drop to throw. And not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, You've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm?
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. A handoff to Mixon. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. An 8-yard gain, so that gets them halfway there. Now they're left with a 3rd and 8 more.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Throwing is Keenum on 3rd down. To the left side here for Eifert. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
It's taken to the 26. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. It's caught by Jackson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off inside the 10.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. Gets through and now an opening. And he will take it on in for Bengals touchdown. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals have got it back to a 1-score game. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because Those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end. Any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
On second down, Roethlisberger. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On third down, Roethlisberger. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Carlos Dunlap in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a fourth down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football.
It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. Scoring has really been at a premium, and Charles, you got to tip your cap to this defense coming in here. Their offense too, but this whole team coming in here on the road, getting a hard-fought win.
I think the way that they're finishing this one up, an exclamation point on a terrific game. As you noted, hard for them to put points on the board, and they hold them down one more time and finalize things.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Vontaze Burfict, the one to get him down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Again, it's Elliott. Bulldozes past him, and he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. Oh, twisting away. Space to maneuver at the 40. That one good for 33 and a first.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
That one goes for 24 yards.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And that is incomplete. The Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick, there on the coverage.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. On 2nd and 10, Keenum. And Matthews over the middle with a grab. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. Now, Bengals on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Here's a give to Mixon. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
Well, sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big 3rd down conversion. To throw is Keenum. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap for Keenum. Pass incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's got the 1st down here inside the 30. And he'll be taken down at the 26. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
To the left side here for Eifert. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here, 3rd and a yard.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 3rd down, Mixon. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Keenum, gotta have this one. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bengals, if they can convert the extra point, will have the lead. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused because they still have some work to do?
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger heading back out there. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. They'll look to throw. His throw incomplete. This secondary as a unit, they've worked really well together in this one, especially late.
A lot of cohesiveness, a lot of communication, and some great athleticism. They're playing so well now, a nickname is sure to follow. They're going to have to name this whole unit soon.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Back to throw. On the left side, Gallup's got it. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
A first down carry by Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
They go to Elliott again. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. And now the Bengals are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. And on the ground they go with a running back. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
I'm a little surprised right here. They've got 3 timeouts left. The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. And we are set for a great finish as that timeout comes in with 2 seconds to go in this football game. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And his kick is good. Despite the rainstorm, a good snap, a good hold, and the kick went through. And it'll be a good time in Big D tonight. The Cowboys have won it. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Dallas, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens.